Here is, here's my issue with the Pride Month. I'm not going to get into some religious stuff. It's practical. Think about it. If we're not producing children, I mean, they could, but that would take a lot of medical procedures that would potentially overwhelm the system. That would be expensive. And considering how the American healthcare system is, I don't think it works. Here's the thing. We're going to run out of children to adopt. And inevitably, we need people to pay the tax. We need more population to pay the taxes. We need more population for Social Security, workers, military, you know. And if people are doing stuff like that, your society, your civilization is going to collapse. I'm sorry, but it is. It doesn't work. The problem I have with it is it wouldn't work. It just doesn't work because it would collapse a society. They're basically celebrating, saying, let's cause a civilization to slowly collapse. Now, it would take a long time for the population to decline, but when the stuff starts rising, there's going to be issues with population because people aren't making children. And people cannot just casually get all these procedures done, you know. Yeah, but I'm sorry, forgetful. But here's the issue. You cannot have a civilization without kids. I'm not saying everyone needs to make kids, but at least a decent number of people in society need to be. Okay? See what's happening in Japan with the population decline, or Italy. We can't have that happen to the U.S. It's more economic access. And why I think it was so restricted it used to be, it's because they knew we would have economic issues over time. Because people would be making less workers, less soldiers, you know. Oh no, the government isn't the best. I could understand their point. I think it came from that, really. This isn't going to be about religion, it's about practical stuff. You gotta have a population that's rising to have an economy. And the most important thing is Social Security. Who's going to be paying the Social Security? Who's going to be paying the taxes for infrastructure? Who's going to be in the military? Who's going to do the jobs? Who's going to have children? Okay, that's the issue with it. It cannot work. It cannot work. It would collapse the civilization over a long time. And countries like Nigeria or places that have, restrict that, have been having population booms. Some of them have. Or Saudi Arabia, or population booms. Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, lots of African countries. And it's restricted. Well, that ain't good, per se. It does show that due to that, they're having a rising population. Meanwhile, countries that... Now, we have immigrants, but there are only so many immigrants we can handle. And immigrants ain't gonna solve the issue. You know, we gotta have a rising population of births. You know, and if people continue getting in relationships without babies, it's going to exacerbate the issues. See, it's not a religious issue, it's an issue with economics and a civilization. You cannot have a civilization without people making kids. I mean, that is common sense, and you cannot argue with that. But yeah, that's what I think of it.